Upside down.
Guys, we're back with another installment of Intothewestcomics, House of the Targaryens.
Yeah, we are.
That's what we're calling it.
What is it called? House of the Dragons.
Up with the Targaryens.
Keeping up with the Targaryens.
House of the Dragon.
The House of the Dragon.
The House of the Dragon of the Targaryens.
The Dragon.
Yeah.
This episode is called The Black Queen. This is their season finale.
Yes.
A lot of stuff going down in this episode.
It's going down.
We get some foreshadowing to what's going to be happening to a certain character at the end of this episode. And what did you guys think about this? For a finale, I think it holds up pretty good
really
with all of the Game of Thrones stuff as a whole. But it was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because it's terrifying, but it's Rhaenyra really understands that she needs to launch into action and try to become this queen that you know she claims to be. She's her father said you are the rightful heir. Meanwhile, you got Otto crowning his son in front of the whole town. When he shows up at their door, when Otto Hightower shows up at their door saying, "Look, this here's the facts. We made him king in front of everybody. We have the right. Everybody knows about us. We've already called a bunch of bannermen to our side and this and that. He's king as far as everybody.
We already planned the parade.
Yeah, we already planned the parade. It's over. Here's the terms. Like when he comes down there, that was pretty insane of him to go down there and do this.
Why hasn't he been beheaded by now?
I know you would think. Well,
God.
Damon wanted to kill him
in
this episode. He just what are we doing? Let's kill him and stuff his hoo-ha in his mouth.
Right.
What Damon says.
That's exactly
the hoo-ha.
But Rhaenyra is like, no, don't do that. Like, let him leave him be.
Yeah, that's just
It's pretty wild. But that
is.
part, I love that part so much because he shows his acting chops and like the way he does this, he just lays it down where you're just going, dang, like, no, he's saying his Aegon is
Reese
king.
Ephens?
Huh?
Reese
that's
Ephens?
his name. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he's awesome. I love that guy. I love him.
Yeah.
It's a great episode, especially the ending of this where you want to see something really happen.
Right.
Once, oh boy,
Dude.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it was like right when I get attached to the boys.
Yeah, I know.
Then that starts happening, and I'm like, wow.
But that's the risk they took.
Yes.
Like you're going out there. You're saying let us ride the dragons over there. It'll be a lot quicker, and we can start getting people on our side and yada yada yada.
And I commend them for that.
That's pretty great.
That was a very thoughtful thing for them to do, and that was a very kind of wise thing
ballsy.
for Rhaenyra to do.
Rhaenyra. With your hands in the air.
Whatever her name is, Rhaenyra. There it is. It was very good. I thought that was very wise of her to do that, even though it probably like the inner mother in her
It was probably like,
no.
She just goes,
But
okay.
I thought that was good because
It shows bravery.
It shows bravery. It shows a good, kind of forward gesture of faith.
I needed that.
Like here you are. These are young boys. They haven't seen combat. Obviously, they've practiced, but they haven't seen it.
Right.
They're very vulnerable in general, just by the sheer nature of them being, kids. So it's kind of like, wow,
They want to do something. They want to help.
they want to help.
It's a younger Luke in
Let us
the
help.
Driftmark episode where, Corlys is like, now you're the Lord of Driftmark. And he's like, if I'm the Lord, it means everybody's dead.
Right.
It's just, it is a very disheartening kind of episode. Rhaenyra is suffering, loss. She loses
the
a baby.
Right.
And then
What a scene.
she's kind of, she has become the queen. She's inherited the throne through kind of like force.
Right.
And she loses a child, and then she loses another child, and it's like she's mourning. And then by the time they get to the end, now she's pissed.
Dude, and when she
and
turns
there's no
around,
crown, she has no crown on. She turns around, she's like, no, she's just angry mom now.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be bad.
Right.
And I thought that the two actresses that they had playing her over the course of this show,
Emma Darcy and
the younger one, and then this
Millie
one.
Aycock.
Millie Aycock, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's done a great job. She's been able to really she's been a tentpole character and actress. Both of them been fantastic in this series, and you see just this rage that's coming over her. That she kind of went full Dany. Almost, you're like, we've seen that kind of face before. Yeah. But Paul, what'd you think?
I mean, the scene, like we've been talking about, the scene at the end of this is just so
it's crazy,
well put together and well shot, and like everything that's going on is so clearly defined and so interesting. He goes to tell these people, look, you're on our side, like, right? Like, we already agreed to this. He gets there, and the shot of him landing Arax and the stormy night, and he looks over his shoulder, and Vhagar, just the silhouette of this monster creature behind the wall. It's
terrifying.
At that moment, it's not, oh, crap, Vhagar's here. It's, oh crap, Aemon's here. Like that's the shadow it's casting. And he's not Luke isn't worried about Vhagar in that moment. He's worried about Aemon. Yeah. And he goes in and he makes his case, and he's like, "Oh, so you just want me what's the name of the guy that he's pleading to again? I can't
One of the lords.
One of the Baratheons.
The Baratheons. And he's like, "So you're coming here and telling me Rhaenyra needs me to be on her side and not give me anything in return."
Boros Baratheon.
Boros Baratheon. He's like, well, this kid's already come and said he's going to give us this, that, and the other thing, and to be on his side. So, no, I'm good, dude. You can go.
And he tells him they got to fight outside.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Aemon's like,
get out of here with that.
I need the eye for my eye. I'm taking it now. And then even though it's like just so complex where Baratheon's like, I'm not taking this kid's offer, but he's here as a messenger. What you're not going to do is kill him in my house and then have the queen and everyone else coming after me because I let them kill your son. No, he's a messenger. You better leave him alone. Right. And so he goes out to Arax. And I don't know how the timing of it works. I don't know how Aemon beat Luke to his dragon. Vhagar was definitely farther away. Right. But Luke gets out there and Vhagar's silhouette isn't there anymore. And he's like, oh crap, he's gone. And I'm not going to be able to, because Arax is probably faster than Vhagar.
Probably.
He's like, but I'm not going to be able to outrun him because he's out in front of me. Right. And then it shows, the other thing that this episode shows that I really like is these people aren't in control of these dragons.
Nope. No.
They're not in control of these dragons at all.
They like to think it, but no.
Like, maybe the most, like the highest ranking of them, like Rhaenyra has more control than like the average. But no, these are creatures who...
not these kids. These kids are...
Yeah, and they're like... He's messing with Arax. Aemond is, and Arax is like a wild animal.
Right.
And it's like, dude, if you bite a dog's tail, a domestic dog's tail, it's still going to attack you.
It's going to go dog.
Yeah. And Arax has enough, and Luke is like, no, don't. He blows the fire in his face. He's like, oh, crap, it's on. And Aemon can't control Vhagar. And that scene where he breaks through and Vhagar just dives down from the top.
He breaks through the clouds.
Honestly, the weird comparison, but the last time I watched something that like literally made my jaw drop and go, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened, was the scene in Hereditary where the little kid gets picked off by the pole. That's the last time I watched something that made me go, oh, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened. Like, I cannot believe that just happened. And then I'm like, oh, it's on.
I thought it was going to be a Madam Web reference.
No. Well, it's just phenomenally paced, and it's
he did a great job with it. The way that whole sequence is shot is incredible. And for the backstory for his relationship with Luke is that Luke is the one that takes his eye. Luke is the one that presents the pig that they put the wings on, the pink dread. And then that they're kind of making the remarks. I think it's in episode 8. They're making the remarks about the pig that they're having for dinner on the table, and they're kind of like,
they're laughing.
There's your dragon, whatever, like kind of messing with him and stuff. I thought that was, it was crazy. And that in the book, as what I've been told, is that in the book, Aemond is showing no remorse. His reaction is sort of like the reaction that we're getting as like, we're seeing it, like, he's kind of like, that's not what I was trying to do, is like trying to scare him. I think not. I didn't think Vhagar was going to eat them. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but in the book, they translated it like, no, Aemon intentionally is trying to kill them.
Okay.
And
I think I might like the way it plays better in the show. I haven't read the book, so what do I know?
Yeah,
I like the way it plays in the show. And it sets up for like Kristen Cole, flash forward, we'll talk about or we have on the live show the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Cole has like a moment in season 2 where he's like, we are ants at the feet of these things. Like getting these dragons involved was a mistake. And that's like kind of what I love about that scene is Vhagar flying over and just towering over Arax. And then when he, like the silhouette above him, and then when he eats him, Vhagar's not trying to kill Luke. He doesn't care about that. He's trying to eat the dragon, and Luke is just an ant that just happens to get stepped on along the way. It's crazy.
The scariest thing, or the weirdest, or the most deep thing about that scene is when Vhagar eats him. You just see pieces, like the pieces of wings. Like she just goes.
She finds. Part of
beginning of season 2.
Beginning of season 2, she finds part of his cloak, and then it's a wing. And then there's the parallels in that is that her dragon birthed Arax.
Oh wow!
So it's two parents mourning two children in the same scene.
Oh, that's dope.
Wow.
So that's it was crazy. I again, we're going back to the dragons just being completely unpredictable. I mean, there's a reason why I didn't bring a bear back from Tennessee. There's a reason why people aren't trying to domesticate those kind of creatures. They don't have the control they think they have. They might have some manipulative type of bond or something they think that they have with the dragon, but eventually the dragon's going to go dragon.
Do its thing.
We see it in season 2 a little bit. This is just kind of like a look ahead with Hugh Hammer. The way that he has gone back and forth with Vermithor, he's aggressive with him, and it reminds Vermithor of the way King Viserys' father was with Vermithor. And he's like, well, he yelled at me too. He was very aggressive. I kind of like this guy. And then they sort of bonded over that, but he's still sort of like reserved of how he's treating his relationship with Hugh Hammer. But I thought that was really cool, is that these dragons are incredibly unpredictable. Yeah. And that's probably one of the fun factors of the show.
Absolutely. And they look, I just can't believe how great everything looks. They really did it correctly, how they look different, the way they're supposed to look, and they seem absolutely and totally real in this world. When Luke gets out in the clearing and like he's out in the clearing, the sun's out after all the rain and stuff is hitting him in the face, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's dead. It's really the saddest thing.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And the craziest ending you could have for a season finale.
Well, and the thing about it is what it does incredibly well is it pays off a lot of the things that have happened in season 1 while also still setting up the conflict for season 2.
Sure.
I don't think, again, another look ahead, I don't think the end of season 2 quite delivered. I think it set up season 3 really well, but it didn't really give us a whole lot to like any kind of resolution from season.
Was there anything?
We've got a lot of time now to read that history book. 720 pages. Brother Rob has read it.
Well, I almost
till the next season
want to read it because I saw some
700 pages of history,
things.
Paul.
Yeah, I know. I saw some book things about like Vermithor and Sea Smoke and Hugh and the other dude. I don't remember his name. But that, again, so it made me interested.
I think that's also a testament to the writing too, because you don't necessarily, because just going back to Aemon and what you're saying, like the books, he has no remorse versus he seems like he has an oh crap moment, right? And I think that's a testament to the writing. Like they're trying to save that character for later because they don't want you to like think that, oh, okay, so yeah, he's done. We don't like him anymore. Like,
he's an evil. They don't want him to think he's an evil.
Right,
evil
like we can write him off as a villain at this point. So he's a villain now.
You give some elements of humanity to all these different characters, whatever side that you're sort of like going back and forth. You probably get to the end of the first season, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm clearly with Rhaenyra.
Yes,
but then there's some characters that I like with Aemon and Aegon, and I like some people over there, and then you just kind of waver back and forth. If they give you those definitive lines like they did in the book, you're like sitting there for 3 or 4 seasons. You're like, I hate the high towers.
Right.
Yeah. I hate
the whole
those guys.
time he just dislikes
So
them.
it keeps you in that like bird's eye view of just like right when you try to start. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go with this team. You're like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go to visit. No,
okay here.
Let me just stay up here and just observe.
So they got 10 episodes for the first season. We get 8 episodes for the second season. Do you think that they go back to 10? Do they say is 8 is like the sweet spot for an episode count now with HBO? I mean, it could just be production costs and everything else is a factor.
I think it depends on the story.
I know, but 10 episodes. I mean, seasons of other shows. Remember back in the day where a season used to be like 24 episodes?
I remember when seasons were 50.
I mean,
when you had shows that were weekly.
I mean, my goodness, is there any way?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think they should do any less than 10. I don't think we're getting our money's worth for if you're doing less than 10 episodes.
Right.
I think they filled out the 10 incredibly well in season 1, which is the season we're talking about. And so if it's like that, I would be down for 10 episodes, but
I'm just wondering that we're
season
getting 2 years.
No, yeah, but season 2, I don't feel like they used the runtime as well. I did still love it, but I don't know. It's like for me, maybe the 9 episodes.
Okay. Meet in the middle.
To me, I think it's just story dependent.
I think 10
it depends on
episodes,
like how well each episode is paced. Some episodes will probably be paced better than others, just by
there's
sheer
always
nature of
going to
the
be
story.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think George R.R. Martin said in an interview, he said there's enough stuff in Fire and Blood for 4 10-episode seasons. I think that's what he said.
Yeah,
that's his
I think they
vision
were
for it.
saying like Warner or maybe HBO. Somebody put out some people were in production within the show. They were saying that it's ending with the 4th season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I mean,
It's kind of like The Boys. Like it's not the Game of Thrones where it's this like kind of there's so many people involved. Like who's going to take the throne? It's very pointed, and already towards the end of season 2, it kind of started to get a little tired. Like, okay, these same people are circling this crown over and over and over and over again. It's kind of like The Boys, where it's like, all right, we're circling, killing Homelander, circling, killing Homelander. We got to bring it to an end. Like, it can't go forever. And so I do think 4 seasons for House of the Dragons, not 8. I don't think it's got 8 seasons worth of.
No.
I've got 2 follow-up questions for you guys, and then to get you out of here because we got to go snack. First thing is, we don't get another season of House of the Dragon next year for 2025. We won't get another season. Obviously, it's going to be pushed back, but we will be getting something within the Game of Thrones universe. It's going to be a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Is somewhere he's in the bloodline of Brienne of Tarth, and he has a sidekick that hangs with him. He goes on his adventures named Egg, who is also an Aegon.
Okay.
So, and he may or may not play a big part in the future of what they're going to be doing. So I think that's kind of cool that we get another story that's related to this built out sort of fantasy universe. My last question is, how do you rate this season on a scale of 1 to 10? Where did you put season 1 of the House of the Dragons? As we wrap up this Keeping Up with the Targaryens,
I give it a solid 8, like a strong 8.
I thought you were going to go higher.
Really?
I kind of did.
I'm probably going to go higher.
Are you?
Can you take me higher?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Where's my base?
Who's next?
I would say I would give it a 9. I thought it was especially the first 5 seasons. I enjoy. What I like about the season mostly is the relationships.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it, especially with the first 5 seasons with the 2 younger versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent. I enjoy that kind of stuff.
That was great.
That was just a beautiful, just like how their kind of positions kind of pretty much drive a rift. We see that slow like rift being driven by outside factors, Otto, duty calling and all this other stuff. Scandal.
And their personalities themselves had the younger actors played the characters so well because their personalities were absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and you loved them both.
Yeah,
you just like, oh my
for
God,
them. For themselves, you love them both.
Right, and then you see the rift happening. It's heartbreaking, but then at the same time, you see, the king. The king knows they have a great relationship. He wants to keep that going for as much as he can, of course, obviously. But then you see what Otto's doing and all the plotting and all that. And then you see kind of Daemon. He's kind of he's not necessarily the antagonist, but he definitely
he's the instigator.
He's the instigator, and he kind of knows he knows his boundaries. He doesn't go too far until later, obviously.
And that was another thing about episode 10 is that Daemon is really starting to show his hand or what he plans on doing in episode 10. Like he's trying to take over and take command. And Rhaenyra is already mistrusting of him.
Tons of second sons in this series having lots of influence.
Right.
And
what did you give it?
I'd say probably an 8.5, 9. Yeah. I really enjoyed this.
I'm going to echo that exactly. I think the time jumps early on don't always flow the best.
But I think we were talking like after the rewatch, it's like it doesn't bother you.
No,
as
but
much.
it did still bother me on the first watch. So
the first one
I
is a
can't.
big jump.
Yeah, but 8.5, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this,
and I agree with you on the relationships thing.
Yeah,
too.
I love seeing that.
I think those are what make the hot dragon action.
Sure.
And keeping up with the Targaryens pay off.
Guys, we want you to keep up with Targaryens. We've got all 10 episodes. Soon we'll have all 10 up for you guys to check out. Let us know what you thought about the first season and what you thought about the second season as well. What are you looking forward to with regards to this whole Game of Thrones universe? And what have you been enjoying of these shows? Are you going to read the book? And maybe we'll do a virtual book club and we'll do the 700 pages. We got 2 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, read like 10 pages a week.
700 pages of shade. Just, boy. But we appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out and put up with us talking about
thank you
all things dragons. That hot dragon action, baby.
Woo!
Yeah. And we hope you have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Love you.